Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Sirade. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Sirate. Jai Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Sirate. Jai Radha Gopinath Radha Krishna Gopinath Radhe. Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai go Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai go Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Sitanath Premanande. Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Prabhupada Sahitam Yapakasha Vitimita Pracharani Kirvan Sadhu Bhagavad-Gita Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyabhadi Paschatya Desatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyanangyana Salakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dati Swapadhantikam Vandeham Siguro Sejuta Parakamalam Sigurung Vaisnavamscha Sirupang Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitang Sadvadutang Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vikamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 15, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the Yoga of the Supreme Person, text number 8. Everyone knows English? No need a translation? Okay. Sarirang yad abapnoti yat chapi utramatis para grihit vaitani samyati vayur gandham ivashaya sarirang yad avapnoti Yacchapi utramatisvara Grihitvaitani samyati Vayur gandang ivasaya. Word for word meaning Sariram, the body. Yat as Abhapnoti, gets. Yat as Chaapi, also. Utkramati, gives up. Isvara, the Lord of the body. Grihitva, taking. Itani, all this. Samyati, goes away. Vayu, the air. Gandhan, smells. Iva, like. Ashayat, from their source. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another as the air carries aromas. Thus, it takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Everybody, please repeat after me. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another as the air carries aromas. Thus he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Purport. Here the living entity is described as Isvara, the controller of his own body. If he likes, he can change his body to a higher grade, and if he likes, he can move to a lower class. Minute independence is there. The change his body undergoes depends upon him. At the time of death, the consciousness he has created will carry him unto the next type of body. If he has made his consciousness like that of a cat or dog, he is sure to change to a cat's or dog's body. And if he has fixed his consciousness on godly qualities, he will change into the form of a demigod. And if he is in Krishna consciousness, he will be transferred to Krishna Loka, the spiritual world, and he will associate with Krishna. It is a false claim that after the annihilation of this body, everything is finished. The individual soul is transmigrating from one body to another, and his present body and present activities are the background of his next body. I repeat that one. The individual soul is transmigrating from one body to another, and his present body and present activities are the background of his next body. One gets a different body according to karma, and he has to quit this body in due course. It is stated here that the subtle body, which carries the conception of the next body, develops another body in the next life. This process of transmigrating from one body to another and struggling while in the body is called karshati, or struggle for existence. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sarirang yad avapnoti yad chapi utraka matisvara grihit vaitani samyati vayur gandang ivashayat. So the changing of the body is described here, meaning that when we leave our body, we transfer, the soul transfer to another body. It depends on the previous activities and the previous conception or the desires that one has. The nature of the soul is eternal. There's never a time that the soul will die. The soul lives forever, but this body keeps on changing. There is also a medical research done that every 12 years, all of the cells of the body changes. It's like when we take birth, we have different body from the previous body that we have. The living entities keep on changing every time one takes birth and when one dies. Yes, Bhagavad-Gita says, as soon as one takes birth, death is certain, and as soon as one dies, birth is certain. There is no way that we will receive the next body the same as what we are having right now. It's not possible. How is that? Because our mind is always also changing. Except if the mind is focused on Krishna, then we will attain our eternal form, our eternal body. So the changing of the body of the soul to the next birth is mentioned here. It is like the blowing of the wind passes over a fragrant rose garden. It is not that the air has the aroma. It acquires that scent because of the flower. The air is neutral. If that air passes through let's say, a very filthy place, let's say, in Vrindavan, we have some places where you don't want to pass by because it's too smelly. It is not that the air has that aroma, but the air carries the aroma. And this is what we are experiencing. So yes, the air itself is not sweet, or the air itself is not having the bad odor, but the sweetness or the bad odor is being acquired by the air. So the soul is like that. The soul cannot be touched. But because of the, again, misidentifying with the body as the self, we think I am American, I'm Indian, I'm Chinese, I'm Filipino. We are Christians, we are Hindus, we are Jewish, we are Muslims. Then when we identify with this body, we think that we are the body. But we are not. We are beyond. So the same air, the same soul, is the one who suffers. He doesn't suffer, but because of misidentifying with the body, then the soul thinks that I'm suffering. You understand? The soul cannot suffer. It cannot be cut into pieces. It cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be withered by the wind. But because of the identification of the body, Prabhupada gave an example. Just like you're driving a car and you got hit by another car. We had one devotee here. He was driving his motorbike on the highway along going to Delhi. And he got hit. But he didn't get any, he got a little bit of broken arm. But because he's not identifying with the body, he doesn't feel any pain and suffering. But a materialist, if you bump him with his car and he got dent, he will say, why did you hit me? Why did you hit me? So because he's identifying with the body, so he says, why did you hit me? He did not get hit. Who got hit? The car. So this is very important. It's a very important lesson to understand. This is the process of transmigration of the soul. This is what we call samsara. It's like in the morning when we sing samsara dhava nalalida loka. We pray to the spiritual master because we've been transmigrating from one body to the next, and because of the mercy of the spiritual master, the suffering in the material world is there for everyone. The devotees also suffer, but not affected that much. But for the materialist who identifies with their body as the self, they suffer so much. So the spiritual mercy, the spiritual master's mercy is like a rain cloud that soothes the fire of material existence. It's like if we are in the forest and there is a fire, there is no exit. You'll get scorched. You'll be burnt. But the spiritual master's mercy is compared to a rain cloud that if there is a fire, that's the only hope that the fire can be extinguished. So similarly, for those who are identifying with this body, that not just the body. When we say we identify with the body, that means we identify with the mind. But we're not the mind, we're not the intelligence, we're not the ego. We are eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. So here, who decides? Next body. How do we know what is our next life going to be? It depends, again, on the living entity who is controller of the body. That's why it says here, Isvara. Remember, what is the meaning of Isvara? Controller. Isvara, the Lord of the body. We control this body up to a certain extent. But there is Param Isvara, who controls everything, including the material energy. So as Mini Isvara, controller of the body, we can decide what we're going to be next life. Others, because they're so much covered with the modes of passion and ignorance, they are deluded by the modes of material nature and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do and they don't want to get out of this material world. Thinking that I can be happy. Thinking that this is the best place for me. I don't want to go anywhere else in spite of one's miseries and sufferings. So what to do? We decide whether we can go up, having higher existence, or we can degrade ourselves into a lower species of life. Prabhupada says we are the architect of our future, and we're also the destructor of our future. A person who is in the mode of ignorance and passion, he thinks that he's doing okay. I am good. I don't need anything else. And that is illusion. Unfortunately. Not unless they taste a higher existence. But they're all of them are striving. All of them are trying to get out of their situation as well, but they cannot do it, not until they take up the process of Krishna consciousness. They're always in the uh, having this misusing their minute independence. It is mentioned here also, right? Minute independence. Being the Lord of this body, I can misuse that minute independence or I can use it properly. If I use properly that minute independence, then there is the possibility, the chance that I can get out of this material body and not to take birth again. But more often is that we are misusing our minute independence. How many times we've heard, I know what I'm doing. No one can tell me what I'm doing. Who are you to tell me what I'm supposed to do? How many times? Even some devotees, they have this mentality. I don't need any guidance. I don't need any counselors. I don't need any monitors. I know what I'm doing. Krishna is within my heart. He tells me what to do. But how can I hear? How can I hear the Paramatma if my senses are uncontrolled? If my mind is disturbed, if my mind is bewildered, if my mind is always hankering for material desires, definitely one will not be able to hear the dictations of the Paramatma, the spiritual master from within, Chaitya Guru. So yes, everyone wants to become independent. That's why in the early 60s or middle 60s, the women, they want to be independent. So that's why this women's liberation was created. But not according to the Sastra. The women, when they're young, they have to be protected by the parents. When they grow up, they have to be protected by the husband. And when they get old, they have to be protected by the children. There is no such thing as women's lib. They what just call it, right? Women's lib. They want to become fully independent. But that is not Vedic culture. They want to be equal with a man. And it's not possible. They have certain roles to do, and the men also, they have certain roles to do. You cannot mix it up. It's not possible. So he can change his body to a higher grade, and if he likes, he can move to a lower class. It depends on what one's decision, what one wants to do in his life. As devotees, practicing devotees, we all know that we want to go back home, back to Godhead. But for a non-devotee, he does not know what to do in life. So that's why he says that if one wants to make advancement in spiritual life and completely mitigate, completely get rid of miseries and sufferings of one's life, then one has to take up the process whereby he has to accept a bona fide spiritual master. Change depends on his consciousness at the time of death. Yam yam bapi smaran chajante ante kalebram. So that's why every day, whatever we do every day will determine our next life. More likely that whatever one is thinking of the whole day, he will also think of that at the end of one's life. It is not possible to say, oh, I'm still young, I still have many more years to go. I know I should think of Krishna at the time of death, but for now, let's say 50-50. So how is that possible? Maybe at the time of death it's 51-49. 51 more thinking not of Krishna. So it's very, very risky. And whatever we're doing right now will determine our next life. And because the next life is not ready yet, we're not ready to take birth in the womb of a different mother, that's why we are still alive. And once that body, next life, is determined, then no more. No more existence. So we have to make a practice. We have to be strict in our sadhana, be able to understand that the purpose of human form of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. At least Prabhupada says we should be in the mode of goodness. Mode of goodness. We were reading the other day the mode of goodness. To be a divine personality. I'll read it to you. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, these are like the qualities that we need to cultivate. Fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger. Oh, there's one devotee. He's teaching how to be free from anger. It's called anger management. He told me, Maharaj, I think you should listen to this because I became expert in this in giving a presentation. Yeah, he was he was telling me, Maharaj, I think you need this also. Yeah, anger means if you are not able to attain what your desires are, then you become angry. Renunciation, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy, from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. So we can test ourselves from these verses, chapter 16, text 1 to 3, if we have some of them, or if we have all of them, or if we don't have any of them, then one can tell that he is in a position of being a divine personality, godly man, endowed with divine nature. So this is the real nature of the soul. Anyone who is bewildered, anyone who's in illusion, they don't have any one of these qualities. Remember that. You can read it yourself, chapter 16, text 1 to 3. So, if our consciousness is that of Krishna consciousness, then we go back to the spiritual world at the time of death. Or even while still living, if we are always fully Krishna conscious, there's no need to go back home, back to Godhead. For one, there is no difference between the spiritual world and the material world. Because he is fully Krishna conscious. One will just want to take birth again. It doesn't matter, even in the material world, to continue serve the Supreme Lord, the Vaishnavas, and the spiritual master. Sometimes devotees who are distributing books, really eager to distribute books, they would say, oh, I don't mind to take birth again next life as long as I'm distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. This is their mindset. I don't mind taking birth in hell or anywhere as long as I'm distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. Yes. There's no difference. So, consciousness, if one thinks of cat like a cat or a dog, says in the purport, how is that? Because the animal's propensities are eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, but not thinking of anything else. If a person's always in that mood of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, and no dream, and no hope, and no wish to get out of this material world, then more likely one will take birth again as a cat or a dog. Prabhupada was giving a class in a university, and Prabhupada was hammering, don't be in the mood, don't be living like cats or dogs. Then one student raised his hand. Swamiji, what's wrong with having a cat's body or a dog's body? I want to be a dog in my next life. Prabhupada says, you have my blessings. So whatever we desire, that will be fulfilled. Material energy will give that facility. Krishna consciousness means to go back home, back to Godhead. Go back to the original abode in the spiritual world. So some, they said that, oh, once this body is dead, everything is finished. There is no soul. Yeah? You've met some of those? Many personalities, even in, let's say, famous personalities, many of them are atheists. Many of them, they say, oh, everything comes by chance. It is by chance that I'm like this, and it's by chance that you are like that. No. Yes. We acquire this body from the past mentality. And the mind and the intelligence and the ego goes along with the soul birth after birth until they become purified. Because the soul has a mind also, purified mind, purified intelligence, purified ego, thinking that I am an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. So yes, Prabhupada will say, okay, you don't believe that there is a soul? And we believe there is a soul. We believe that there is Krishna. We are happy now because, yes, we're only enjoying Krishna Pasada, Kirtan, Harikatha. Now, let's say there is no Krishna, there is no life after death, but we're happy now. Now you don't believe that there is a soul, and there is no Krishna, you're not happy now. But what if there is Krishna? What if there is life after death? We are happy now, and next life, we will continue to be happy. But for you, you deny everything, you're not happy now. What if Krishna is there? That means next life, you continue to suffer. You understand? We got nothing to lose. Let's say there's no Krishna, but we're happy now. Compared to you, you're suffering, you're miserable. Please take this. So on the basis of karma, we take another body. And the subtle body carries this conception. For the devotees, no more birth. They'll go back home, back to Godhead. So there is a word here, karshati. Let me see that again.
Last line.
Last line, it says there.
Starting for existence.
Hold on. Sarirang yad abapnoti yad chapi utkrama tiswara gritvaipam samyati vayor gandang ibashayat. Oh, it says here, karshati, the process of transmigration from one body to another and struggling for existence while in the body. Everyone is struggling in this world. We all feel also sufferings and miseries, but for the devotees, it is minimal. It is not as great as the non-devotees. That is the big difference. As long as we have this body, we also suffer. We also become miserable, but in a lesser degree, because knowingly that I'm not this body, that I'm spirit soul. So that is the difference. Okay? Next verse will be about the process of transmigration also. They're interconnected, 15.8 and 15.9. I will stop here. Any question or comments? It's very simple, isn't it?
Correct, Maharaj.
Bolo.
There is minute independence means I want to make it clear whether I can get the body higher class or lower class. That is the only minute independence.
No, that minute independence, yeah. Minute independence is your decision what to do in your life. What you want to do, but you have to, let's say, I want to go back home, back to Godhead. So you have to follow certain rules and regulations to attain that. It is not because I want to go back home, back to Godhead. That is my decision. I don't do anything else. That will not lead you to go back home, back to Godhead. You have to follow rules and regulations, chant Hare Krishna. Everyone wants to be happy in this world. That is the nature of this world. The living entities in the material world, they all want to be happy. But their happiness, they're looking for happiness in a wrong direction. Misconception. They think that they'll be happy if they have a big bank account, a beautiful wife, surrounded by aristocratic family, a big house. Is that makes you one happy? No. Only Krishna. When one takes up to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada says, we can live under a tree. Huh? We can live under a tree. We don't have to go anywhere. But why do we go in the cities? To help others to be Krishna conscious. Prabhupada, he could have just stayed at the Radha Damodar temple. He could have just stayed in Vrindavan at the age of 70. But because his Guru Maharaj told him to preach, so he went to the West. He did not misuse his minute independence. He used it properly. Yeah? So he says that this minute independence is like a jewel. A jewel, a very precious jewel. You have to protect it. You have to put it in a safe. You don't put it here and there. What about Sanatan Goswami? Sanatan Goswami has a Chintamani stone. So one Brahmana came to see him and he would like to ask the most precious thing that Sanatan Goswami has, that Chintamani stone. And for Sanatan Goswami, he says, he doesn't mind. Okay, you can go and pick it up near the garbage. So he picked it up And he went home. He says, if this is the most precious thing, why is it near the garbage? So he returned. He says, my dear Swami, why is it like this? You told me that this is the most precious thing. Materially it is, but the Brahmana says, I want the most precious thing that you have. And then he says, okay, I'm going to give it to you and you have to follow my instruction. Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in this way, he received the highest. So for us, we know what to do, isn't it? We've heard from the scriptures, we've heard from Srila Prabhupada, we've heard from our spiritual master what to do. But we have a minute independence to follow it strictly all the way, or we can follow halfway. We can follow only what we want to follow. And the rest, you discard. No. If the doctor gives you a medicine, take this medicine before breakfast, the other medicine after breakfast, you do exercise, you follow a strict diet, no heavy masala, no spicy, no oily, and you will be cured. So now you may say, oh, I cannot follow all of this. I'll just follow a little bit. So this is your mind of independence. You follow whatever you like to follow, but then are you going to be cured? No. So you have to follow everything. This is minute independence. This is the meaning. You choose the proper way, then you'll be elevated. You choose your own whimsical mind, uncontrolled senses, then you will go downhill. But Krishna always gives us chance. There's never a time that Krishna will reject the jiva. Nope, it doesn't matter. You can be the greatest atheist, you can be the greatest demon, but still there is always hope for you. This is Krishna. So we should be like this also. Our mood is that we should be compassionate, we should be kind, and anyone who has some sincerity to follow this process, we should always give them chance. But if they commit Vaisnava Parad, that is another thing. Their bhakti will be crippled. But devotee is always forgiving, like Krishna, like Lord Nityananda. But it should not be abused. Yeah? Devotees, they're always very compassionate. Is always there, always forgiving, up to a certain extent. But that forgiveness is to teach you a lesson. Prabhupada will be, he will forgive up to 4 times. You know, in sports, 3 strikes, you're out, right? But Prabhupada, 1 more. But don't abuse it. Yes? Yes, yes.
My son asked this question,
How to control anger?
yeah, you had mentioned earlier, so he asked me to ask you, Maharaj.
Why he's listening?
He was just chatting, he was reading Krishna book, then I told him that
Okay, I will tell you. Anger arises if there is something you want to achieve and you're not able to have it. Especially if we are always absorbed in sense enjoyment, not possible to get rid of anger. So we have to get rid of desire to enjoy materially. Says here also, do not get attached to money, properties, objects, places, and people. Prabhupada says, don't rely on me. I may also disappoint you. But Krishna will not. Krishna's devotees never disappoint anybody. So don't be attached to money. Like a pauper, they're saying a pauper is proud of his pennies. If we have any opulences, if we have any wealth, we use it for Krishna's service. If we have anything that Krishna provides, Krishna gave to us, we should use it for Krishna's service. As soon as we misuse it and we're not be able to accomplish what we want to do, we will become angry. Always speak the truth. Always speak the truth and leave it for others to accept or reject. So don't be attached. You tell the truth. If the other person accepts it, that's good for him. If he rejects it, that's not good for him. But don't be attached. You just say what you have to say. Don't be pretentious. Don't be two-faced. Be who you are. Yeah, give up material desires. Never argue. This is the problem. We want to prove that I am better than you. We want to prove that, I can defeat you. No, we're not like that. Our purpose is just to establish the truth. It doesn't matter who is right or wrong. What matters is the truth. Okay? We're not here to figure out who is right or wrong. No, we're here to establish what is the truth. Then, and don't judge anyone. That's why, when you see someone not doing properly, not behaving properly, you become angry. No, it is not for us to judge. Only Krishna and the spiritual master can judge. You don't estimate, oh yeah, this devotee, I know what he's trying to do. No, if it's none of your business, don't put your nose into it. You'll get cut off. Like Surpanaka. Okay? Many things going on around. No. Just do what you have to do. If it's not beyond your reach, just accept it and pray for that person. And if you want to really help that person and you don't have a relationship, you tell to others who are in equal or in authoritative position to tell this person what to do. Yes. Oh, this is very good. Because we cannot control our tongue. If there is some things that you've seen which is not proper, better not to speak. It's better not to respond. Just accept. It's like in the management, if the management makes a decision and you may not like it, don't take sides. If there are two devotees arguing with each other, it is not your business to side with the other person. Just be in the middle, accept, and pray that Krishna will mitigate that. There is a verse here. There's a verse here. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of a steady mind. So if our mind is steady, we cannot be angry. That's Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 2, text 56. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 5, text 26. Okay? Anything else? Any other comments? Question? Says here, the Lord is always smiling, and He wants all of us to smile too. Krishna is always smiling. You never see Krishna angry. He became angry one time, at least as far as I know, when Bhishma Dev tried to kill Arjuna. Then he took the sword, what do you call this? The wheel, the broken wheel. But that anger is what Bhishma Dev wanted to see. Yeah? It says here, the Lord is always smiling, and the devotees should constantly see the Lord in this form. As He looks very mercifully towards the devotee, in this way, the meditator should look toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the bestower of all benedictions. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, Text 51. Okay? We stop here now. Any more questions? Comment? So everyone should be always smiling? Because Krishna is always smiling. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Sitanan Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.